Right, folks, welcome back. Today we are diving deep into the green bank. We are talking about Nedbank. Now, before we get started, just be reminded that I'm not representing the organization in any way. This is just an independent analyst doing what they do best because I love strategy. Let's look at what happened on this company in 2024 and 2025 because it was busy for this organization. New leadership, new strategy, and finally, finishing some tech projects that have been running since the Game of Thrones period. Some of you will remember those periods of Game of Thrones. So these guys have had projects that started during that period. So let's get into it. First up, who are we looking at? Nedbank has been around since 1888. Can you believe that? So they have survived everything from the gold rush to the dot-com bubble. Historically, they've always been seen as the posh bank, right? The bank for the professionals. But the big news for 2024 and 2025 wasn't just their history. It was the changing of the guard. After 14 years of Mike Brown being the green CEO, Jason Quinn took the wheel in May 2024. He came over from Absa bringing fresh pair of eyes. This company is owned 100% by Nedbank Group, listed on the JSE. This slide is the MBA slide. Inputs, activities, outputs. In plain English, they take deposits, they lend money, and they try not to lose it in between. But the juicy part here is the operating model on the right. In 2024, they shook things up. They realized that having a retail cluster and a wealth cluster separate didn't make sense because rich people are also retail clients. So what they did is that they smashed them together into personal and private banking, PPB. It's all about being client-centered, of course, rather than product-centered. Basically, stop passing the client around like a hot potato. Let's break down where the money actually comes from. CIB Wholesale. This is the heavy lifting, mining deals, renewable energy plants, public sector funding. This is where Nedbank is arguably the strongest in the market. And then we've got RBB Retail. This is you and me buying a car or a house. They've been fighting hard here to win back market share from Capitec and FNB. And then we've got the wealth segment. This is high net worth individuals. If you have a private banker who calls you on your birthday, you are in this box, definitely. Right, strategy. If you remember nothing else today, remember these two words, perform and transform. Perform is just the banker speak for do your job properly. It's about executing the basics. But transform is the cool stuff in 2024. They finally wrapped up a massive IT project called Managed Evolution. It took 9 years, but now that it's done, they have one of the cleanest tech stacks in South Africa. Their target? They want an ROE, return on equity, above 18%. That is aggressive. That is saying we are going to be money printing machine and they want to be number one bank of customer service, NPS, Net Promoter Score. Let's talk about the people powering this machine, 25,000 employees. Look at the second number, 2.39 million revenue per employee. That is highly efficient. Nedbank has been working on something called TOM 2.0, Target Operating Model. It sounds like a robot, but it was actually a cost-cutting exercise that saved them about 3 billion rands. But it's not just a sweatshop. Their employee great place to work for score is high. They've managed to keep morale up even while shrinking the headcount slightly through attrition. Now let's look at the numbers. 2024 was a tough year for the economy. High interest rates, logistics crisis, you name it. Despite that, look at these green numbers. Revenue up to 61 billion. Operating profit up 12.4% to nearly 17 billion rand. ROE, return on equity, hit 16%. Remember, their target is 18%, right? They aren't there yet, but 16% is a solid jump from a previous year. Why did this happen, you might ask yourself? High interest rates are actually good for the banks, the endowment effect. Plus, they stopped losing money on bad loans as the year stabilized. Shareholders are happy because that dividend payout was sweet. Nedbank isn't the one usually buying everything in sight. but they made a smart play with Extra. This is a fleet management business. Why buy it? Because every company needs cars, and it lets Nedbank cross-sell banking products to all those fleet clients. It's a classic defensive play. There's the ETI EcoBank situation in West Africa. It's been a roller coaster relationship for years. In 2024, they were still reviewing this, basically deciding whether to stay married or file for divorce. Let's watch the space and see what they will decide. The challenges, let's talk about them. Number one, GDP growth. South Africa grew at like 0.6%. It's hard to sell loans when businesses aren't growing. Number two, elections. The 2024 elections caused a lot of jitters in the first half of the year. Then number three, logistics. Transnet. Need I say more? Then let's look what they did in terms of the mitigations. How did they survive? They focused on what they could control. They leaned heavily into renewable energy finance. Nedbank is the market leader here. When Eskom struggled, private power boomed, and Nedbank funded a huge chunk of the private power that saved their balance sheet. So what's next for the Green Bank? How do they even get richer? The management team under Jason Quinn is pushing the transform agenda. Data and AI. Now that the 9-year-old IT build is done, they are switching on the AI. They want to predict what you need before you even need it. Scale retail. They are tired of being seen as just a corporate bank. They want the mass market as well. East Africa. They are looking at expanding CIP into regions like Kenya and chasing the growth that SA doesn't offer right now. To wrap it up, how did the Green Bank do? Compared to their peers, Nedbank punched above its weight in 2024. Number one in Net Promoter Score. Clients actually like them. That is rare for a bank. Digital sales, 64% of their sales are now digital. No paperwork, no branches. Overall, 2024 was the year Nedbank finished their homework, the IT build, and they started playing on the front foot. They are lean, they are digital, and they are profitable. Thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you think 18% ROE is actually realistic or they are dreaming.